What's up, fellas? We're back after solid, probably 3 or 4 weeks. Who could know? Wake Up Mintzy is back, presented by Dude Wipes and Stella Blue Coffee. And there's only one way to get the show started, and that's by chugging some fiery Stella Blue Coffee because it's time to get our minds right. We got a ton of stuff to get to. We got some great guests. And I got to say, I'm feeling recharged. I'm amped up this morning, and I'm glad to be joined by the Stoolies. All right. A lot of stuff to get into. First of all, producer Tyler Moody is joining us. We think we've got it figured out with the dump button where we're doing. Moody can do this remote, and we still have the dump button, which means good news, Stoolies. More Wake Up Mintzy's coming. We might be able to do a few more shows. And we're all about giving the people what they want. Mr. Moody, how are you this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm good, brother. We're set up. We're ready to roll here. I think everything is good to go. Hopefully, we're good. We're testing this remotely. I think we're fine though. I'm gonna let you handle most of the show, and I'll come back and join you here at the end.
Well, we got a hell of a show for you because we're going to be joined by the head coach of the McNeese State Cowboys, Will Wade, another man like myself who's after my heart. The greats are often misunderstood. Will has certainly had a wild journey. He's flying out to Salt Lake City with McNeese State. They're taking on the Zags of Gonzaga. I always say it wrong. Is it Gonzaga or Gonzaga? I should know better considering it's been going for 25 years. They're taking them on Thursday night. McNeese, the 12th seed. Will, former coach at LSU. I know him through my ESPN Baton Rouge days. Excited to have him on. We're also going to be joined by Ohio's Tate here in a minute. But before we get to that, a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. But first, our show is presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. And if there's ever a show that needed a mess to be cleaned up, it's certainly this one. To say the least. And we've got the right product for that in Dude Wipes. Say goodbye to dry toilet paper. Who needs that? When you could have Dude Wipes. You could use it one time. It'll change your life. And you can find them at Amazon, nationwide at Walmart, Target, or even your local grocery store. And Dude Wipes, the perfect sponsor of the dump button, making all your number twos better and cleaner. Check out Dude Wipes. We love them here at Wake Up Mintzy. All right, a lot of stuff's going on in the last month. To be honest, I've kind of been trying to catch my breath because in the last 2 weeks, had some more incidents. We've certainly had some more misunderstandings, as we always do, but we've, managed to fail upward a little bit and land on our feet, I think, even though I don't know if Dave Portnoy would agree with that. First went out to Palm Springs, California a couple of weeks, got to check out Indian Wells, which was super cool. The tennis tournament and promote Top Spin 2K, which will be out on April the 26th, I believe, which is actually now allowed to be announced. And awesome game. Got to check out the gameplay. Can't wait to check that out. And love the 2K sponsorship of Barstool. Kind of the first California trip I've had since Moody, it was 20. I think it was the first time I've been out there since 2013. So that was super cool. Then I headed to NOLA and went to the wrong wedding, which I know y'all saw was covered extensively because I'm a dumbass and I thought the Metairie Country Club and the New Orleans Country Club were the same thing. It turns out they weren't. And I was only going to know 4 people at the wedding. So my idiotic self sat there for 20 minutes, ate some prime rib, some club soda, and finally figured it out. But hey, all's well that ends well. And then last week, I want to touch on this. I just got back from Nashville, Tennessee. Went to the SEC basketball tournament. Moody, hell of an event. I mean, there's so much hype on the city of Nashville right now, and I get it. I get why, but I didn't really get it until this trip. The Barstool Bar is freaking epic. If you've not been there, it's 2 stories. They've got live music, DJs, ton of great TVs, good food, outdoor patio. It's epic. I mean, I know I just used that word. That's not a word I try to use too much, but it is freaking popping. I had such a good time there. Went to the SEC championship game on Sunday. Auburn beat the crap out of Florida. That sucked because I had Florida 20-1 to win the tournament, but Auburn certainly a deserving SEC champion. But what a cool event in Nashville because you go to the games and then you're right on freaking Broadway at Bridgestone Arena. So you just walk out, you're right there. Also want to mention shout out to Francis Ellis. I've kind of been getting into going. I've gone to a few comedy shows lately. Went to the Laugh Factory with Nick Tarani and Mook and the one Brandon Walker hosted a few weeks ago. And then I went and checked out Francis Ellis' show at Zany's in Nashville. And I laughed. Say what you will about Francis. Man, I laughed super hard. I even went the second night in a row. Saw the boy Will Compton there too. So awesome trip to Nashville. Ate some good food. Now we're back. And now we're joined in studio by the newest employee at Barstool Sports. He's making quite a splash, I got to say. The man showed up. He's meant business. He's trying new ideas. He's creative. He's got the right attitude. We're thrilled. We're thrilled to have him join us on Wake Up Mintzy this morning.
Fired me up this morning, Mintzy.
Hell
My
yeah.
first friend at Barstool was Mintzy.
See, there you go.
He was. We went out to dinner. He was helping me find a place. Mintzy's been very nice to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, I don't want to say that I beat Tate in the office this morning, but I'm not saying it either for all these people, clearing my name of all these false charges.
I will say I'm done talking about my arrival time, but fine. I will also say that Mintzy was the first one in the office today. Hardest working man at Barstool.
Clearly. But we're glad Wake Up Mintzy's back. And also want to shout out our friends at Stella Blue. Stella Blue is running a bracket pool as well. You can get free Stella Blue stuff, so check that out all over our Twitter. Shout out to Big Cat, one of the greatest Americans that's ever done it. Wouldn't be here without him. His coffee's amazing, too. It's, I always say this, and I know this is like a cheesy thing to say because, we're going to plug our sponsors no matter what. But Stella Blue's amazing coffee, and Dude Wipes cleans you up better than any other product. So it's like, not just do we have sponsorships, it's great, but they're actually badass products too. All right. We're going to be joined by Tate. Got a lot of stuff to discuss with you. So now that you've been here a couple of weeks,
1 week.
One week. Okay. Well, like the Bare Naked Lady song. So you've been here a week. I see all kinds of stuff going on. You're getting your TikTok rolling. You and I went to dinner last week. That blog was hilarious.
Thank you.
A week later, how was the dinner experience?
The dinner experience, I'll say this. I had known Mintzy from afar from just watching him from Barstool, and what everyone says about him was very true. That was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I had a blast. Mintzy's very nice. He was very nice to me, very kind. We had great conversation. But some of the things that happened at that dinner, Mintzy, could only happen to you.
Yeah.
And the food was, I went.
So explain to the people more. What are you talking about? My Parmesan cheese?
Well, Mintzy, that was an hour into the dinner. What happened first was Mintzy originally told me a certain time. Then he pushed it back.
Well, we had the dozen.
Then you had the dozen.
I already had that dozen scheduled. We had a dozen match that shout out Team Smockin.
But Mintzy, you skipped. So why did you skip the combine to do something, but you couldn't skip the dozen to hang out with me? All right, I'm just kidding. But anyways, so Mintzy pushed it back.
The dozen one for 120K.
That's true.
I'm still mad. It's sore subject.
So anyways, we pushed back dinner, which is fine. And I'm walking home and I get a call from Mintzy, and the place you chose, which shout out I did go back to last night.
Yeah, Parlor Pizza. Give him a shout out.
Very good.
This West Loop area, man. That's where we live. That Randolph Street, man. It's like Restaurant Murders Row.
Yeah, it was good.
So many good ones.
But anyways,
Hour.
Great happy hour. That leads into this. Mintzy really wanted the happy hour, so he asked me to go sit at the restaurant for 15 minutes before he got there because he really wanted me to get these happy hour deals in. And long story short, I sat there with our food for 30 minutes before Mintzy rolled in. So I got to know the environment pretty well.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. It was funny because it's like look. We're trying to ball on budgets here, they got the buy one get one pizza free and $5 apps till 6 p.m. So Tate, being the team player he is, was sprinting to the kitchen to flag in a calamari order at 5:58.
Well, so I put in our pizza orders at 5:58, and I got a response back from Mintzy that said, "Hey, if you have time, can you go get some fried calamari as well?" Well, yeah, Mintzy, I have time. I've been sitting here for 45 minutes. Do you have time? But no, I went behind the kitchen and we got the calamari.
There you go. And then I had a great meal. And so now let's get into a bunch of stuff to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're a big basketball guy, and you streamed a bunch this weekend. How'd you enjoy it?
That was my first streams. I did enjoy it. I think my biggest takeaway is, especially, we have a good Buckeye contingent now.
We do.
So we had Big Ev flew in, myself, and Mark Titus. And when us three were sitting on that front couch, we had to block out the haters in the back. A lot of people in that cave start to chirp you, and they care more about their bets and all that, which is fine and good and all. But we were fighting for our lives with the Buckeyes. So that was really fun to be a part of. And I'm looking forward to continuing that with March Madness and then into the Browns and Buckeyes in football season.
What did you think? Were you very happy about them, Diebler, getting the full-time job?
Yeah.
He did a hell of a job. I mean, you look at that Ohio State season, I mean, they were going nowhere. And then when they made the switch, they made a run in the Big Ten tournament. They were great down the stretch. I mean, they even kind of got in the bubble talk for a second.
Yeah, I've been a Diebler fan for a really long time. I used to watch him play in high school with him and his brother, and then I became a high school basketball coach in Ohio, and he does like clinics and stuff. And so I've been watching him and going to his clinics for a while. I think he gets the most out of our people. I think he's a great recruiter, and I mean, his product spoke for itself. It would have been disappointing to see him go any other way. So I'm really glad that our new AD from the South knew what he was doing.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, Ross Bjork. So the Ohio State hired former Ole Miss and Texas A&M AD, Ross Bjork, who also fails upward at an unbelievable.
Oh, you're not a fan?
I love him as a person. I mean, I like him as a person. He screwed up. So when Ole Miss got in big NCAA problems under the Freeze era, he cooperated with the NCAA and instead of sticking up the finger at him. And that was the wrong decision.
So you would have rather have him cheated and lied than
no, I'm not saying cheated and lied. I would just said not cooperated.
Got you.
Because he cooperated and we like opened everything up, and then just the NCAA was allowed to just come in and screw us. And now everybody's taking the take no prisoners attitude with the NCAA, which I wish he did. But he's a good AD. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I just think he made a wrong decision there, and it cost us a lot of years. But you know what? It's a new day for Ole Miss, and we're a national championship contender right now. All right, so let's get into. I've been trying to keep track. Tate and I have become buddies up here. Like I said, he moved just like I did. I didn't really know. I mean, I guess I knew more people at Barstool because I've been part of the company for a while. But I wanted to make sure you felt welcome. Hence, we went out to dinner, and I'm enjoying hanging out with you. All right, so your blogging's doing really well. I saw you talked about you had a meeting about TikTok. Now that's a big project. What's going on?
I'm trying to. So my focus is still going to be 100% on the blog, and I think I've been, that's what I've been trying to do. My philosophy so far has been to get in here at a time where I can focus on blogging, and then kind of just get in the mix the rest of the day. I really want to grow my TikTok. And then also I just want to be like around different content. So like today, we didn't have plans to do this.
No.
And then you walked in, you're like, hey, come on in. So I bumped in here. Yesterday, I just stuck around later than usual. And I ended up getting to play basketball with Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my plan is to blog, try and work on the TikTok, and then just bounce around to different things and see if I can strike gold somewhere.
There you go. Well, I like it. I think a lot of it's the right attitude, and you certainly have that. And, just sticking your head in here, who knows what will happen. I want to touch on some NCAA tournament stuff before I let you go. And you're also doing some stuff with Mostly Sports this morning? No? Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. Okay. Who can know? But regardless, NCAA tourney starting tonight, first four. We got the first four games tonight, tomorrow night. They'll be streamed from New York. And then we will be streaming Thursday through Sunday. I'm hoping I'm part of the streams. I don't know yet. I'm always on the edge of the college basketball. I'm on the football ones for sure. Regardless of that, we're streaming, and it's going to be awesome. Taking a look at the bracket. Have you filled out your bracket yet?
I'm in a bracket pool. I have not filled out the bracket. Listen, tonight's a big night for me. I'm a big fan of the play-in teams, and once they win the first game, and then ride with them a little bit. So I'm interested to see how Virginia and Colorado State do tonight. And then I like to fill out my brackets once those play-in games are done. I don't like to fill it out before that.
Okay, so a lot of stuff to get into with this tournament. Mountain West got a bunch of teams in, but they all got kind of crappy seeds. What do you think? Virginia was one of the last teams in. There was a lot of argument. Clearly, Frank the Tank at Seton Hall was very upset about it. Do you have any opinion on this Virginia-Colorado State game tonight?
Yeah, I like Virginia. Shout out Jake Malisak. Best goalie at Barstool.
He is the best goalie at Barstool.
Shut me down, shut Pat Bev down. I'm cheering for Virginia. And I think, honestly, there's a little bit of a storyline in the fact that people didn't think they should be in. And now that they are in, I could see them making a little bit of a run. They would go Colorado State tonight. I think they would have Texas first. And then
Texas is pretty vulnerable.
Yeah. And
I wasn't too impressed by Rodney Terry in their first full year.
And then they would see the 2-seed Tennessee. And I don't hate that. I mean, slow them down, play some defense, show Tennessee, show Dalton Connect something they haven't seen before. So.
Yeah, Tennessee came in. That was a rough performance against Mississippi State. It's weird. So how do you look at, every year, the conference tourney thing, I almost feel like it is better when teams lose early and get remotivated for the NCAA. It's like a weird catch-22 because you see so much of the conference tourneys. We saw teams like Ohio State and Mississippi State, teams that are on the bubble playing for their lives, make these huge runs, and then you just see one and done from Kentucky and Tennessee and Auburn, and you saw Duke got knocked out. It's just it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think you want to be riding into the tournament on a high note, but I don't think you want to play 4 games in 4 days, 5 games in 5 days, and almost losing a game that you weren't supposed to in your conference tournament, almost refocuses the group and gets you guys locked in to make a tournament run. So obviously the main goal is to win in March Madness, and I do think conference tournaments are a big deal, but ultimately I'd rather advance in March Madness than play longer into my conference tournament.
What? So you've gone through, right? Do you have any sleepers or anything? Like, how deep in the bracket have you got? I've gone through it pretty good. I took McNeese. I'm
Why did you take McNeese? Do you have a connection there?
Yeah, we're about to have that interview with Will Wade here in a second. I also like their draw. I think Gonzaga is not what they used to be, and they get the winner of Kansas Sanford second round, and Kansas is super beat up. I mean, you saw that effort against Cincinnati in the Big 12 tourney. I think they're vulnerable.
Yeah, I think if you wanted a sleeper from me, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you're crazy if you don't roll with UConn. But I know that that's not what everyone wants to hear. If you wanted me to give someone like 9 or above, that I think you could close your eyes. I know they're not as good this year, but if you close your eyes and told me Tom Izzo was in the Sweet 16, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. January, February is
yeah, exactly. So at the 9 seed, I know they'd have to match up with a 1. In the second
Carolina's obviously good, but I mean, you saw them lose to NC State. Like, they're still really good, but I think. You mentioned UConn. How much better do you think UConn is than everyone else? I think it's kind of significant.
I think it's very significant.
You saw with Houston, especially after they got blown out by Ohio State.
If you told me right now that we had to make a bet and I either got the other 67 teams or UConn, I would take UConn.
And UConn's about 4-1, I believe, to win the tournament. So it's probably a decent future bet. I saw Jack Mack has him 12-1 for January, and he was outrunning his mouth. But I still think we've got a wide open tournament. Got games tonight, tomorrow night, and then Thursday through Sunday. Can't wait. I'm also excited about, I'm good friends with Coach O, Ole Miss women's coach. Ole Miss got sent as a 7 seed to South Bend. And so they're playing Saturday afternoon against Marquette. If they win, they'll play Notre Dame Monday. So there's a chance I sneak over to South Bend, try to catch a game.
Like that. Let's get Ole Miss on a run. We'll get the Buckeyes on a run. We'll get Kate and Clark on a run.
Is Ohio State, they're in the women's tournament too?
They're a 2 seed. They're very good. Big Ten regular season champions. Lost to Caitlin Clark lost in the conference tournament to Maryland. But the women's Final Four is in Cleveland this year.
Oh,
so it might be workshopping a little way over to
Cleveland Rocks.
I mean, if Caitlin Clark's there and Ohio State's there, that's going to be bigger than
one thing to watch. LSU's the 3 seed in Iowa's bracket, so we could have an LSU Iowa national championship rematch in the Elite 8. That will be so hyped if it happens.
And that had to be contrived, right? Like that wasn't random. That they had to find a way to get those two to play each other, and the only way to do it would be to meet them up in a regional final.
Well, it certainly seems like that's going to be something we're following. But the women's game is super strong right now. The star power. I mean, I feel like
NBA hoodie on.
I feel like it's more hyped than ever. I'm paying more attention to it. I thought Ole Miss should have gotten a better seed than 7, but whatever. Such is life. They're the number 3 team in the SEC. All right, I believe now I want to thank Tate for joining us, giving us a little time.
Thanks,
super
Mintzy.
Busy. Appreciate it. We'll continue to have him as part of Wake Up Mintzy going forward, but we're going to be joined. So we're going to be joined. I was joined by Will Wade. I'll be honest. I know I'm going to catch some heat for this. Had to tape it last night because you know what, guys? McNeese is flying to freaking Salt Lake City today. So we were lucky to be able to get some time with Will Wade last night. I was able to tape it last night, talk about his career journey, why he's super grateful for this opportunity from McNeese after the ups and downs, how he feels about the Gonzaga matchup, him talking and reflecting on the 30-win historic season at McNeese. So without further ado, here's my interview with McNeese State head coach, former LSU coach, Will Wade, as he gets the Cowboys ready to take on Gonzaga on Thursday.
And go.
All right. Welcome back to Wake Up Mintzy. First show in about a month, but sometimes we're misunderstood. As always, sponsored by the fine folks of Dude Wipes, because if there's ever a show that needs a mess cleaned up, it's this one. The hell of dry, scratchy toilet paper when you can have Dude Wipes. They're life-changing product. They are in Target, Walmart, and your local grocery store nationwide. We appreciate the support of Wake Up Mintzy, and we're now joined by a man on one of my favorite redemption stories maybe I've ever seen in sports. He's getting ready to fly out to Salt Lake City because his number 12 seed, McNeese State Cowboys, taking on the Zags Gonzaga on Thursday night in Salt Lake City. But it was so nice to fit us in first. We're joined by Will Wade. Yeah. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Doing well. Looking forward to Thursday. Should be fun. Beats the hell out of me. Last with you last year watching the games, but it'll be a lot more fun playing in the games. I'm sure you'll have fun watching them still.
Yeah, look, last year, so during March Madness, I was with Coach Wade. We were actually watching the games together, and here we are a year later. You're back playing in them, or coaching where you should be. And I want to just get into, before we even talk about this matchup, This has had to be, I've seen your interviews, I've been following it, maybe one of the most gratifying years of coaching for you ever. I mean, coming to a McNeese State team that won 11 games last year, the greatest turnaround in college basketball history, about 19 more wins in a year. I mean, what's this been like?
Been incredible. It has. It's been as fun a year as I've ever had. Part of it is we've got really, really good kids, and they're a fun group to be around. Like, it's exciting group and really, really cool group to be around. But, I'm a lot more appreciative now than I was before as well. When you just kind of step, moving up the ladder is quick. You get knocked off that ladder, you fall down. You appreciate the little things quite a bit more. You have a lot more fun with all the little things, and so this has been just awesome. I never thought we'd win 30 games. That part's been a lot of fun, but just been a really, 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 really cool year. Really, really fun group to be around, and hopefully we can finish it off and see if we can pull a major upset here in the tournament.
So I know obviously you were at LSU quite a while, had a heck of a lot of success. When the McNeese opening came to you, I know you're fond of South Louisiana and Louisiana in general. Did that obviously appeal to you here?
Yeah, it was huge. I've had some other options, but I just felt most comfortable in Louisiana. I felt most comfortable with the people in Louisiana, the people at McNeese, my AD and my president. They were all in, and two just awesome folks. And so, I felt comfortable, and they were ready to win. I mean, we hadn't won in a long time. It was our first NCAA tournament berth in 22 years. It's been a long drought, but everybody here was excited. Everybody here was fired up, and everybody here was ready to win, and they just needed somebody to kind of galvanize it and bring everything together. And fortunately, I was able to do that.
Well, what's so interesting now, NIL world, obviously I know you took a ton of transfers, is just the ability to turn it around like that overnight. And, I know y'all have got just a super elite guard who was the best player in the Southland, but just how are you able to, put together a roster in this short of a time to build a championship team?
I mean, hey, it's all about the players, man. I'd rather have tricky players than tricky plays. So give me some guys with some wiggle. And look, Wells, our best players, conference player of the year, conference newcomer of the year, conference tournament MVP. I mean, he won every award in the conference. He's been invited to Portsmouth for the NBA, which is the best seniors in the country. And so really, really, great player and somebody that when he came here, we knew he'd averaged 18.5 a game at Texas Arlington. He averaged 6.5 a game at TCU, and just tremendous player. And then we added some other transfers. We kept our best player from last year, Christian Shoemate, who's a human highlight reel. He's been on SportsCenter, top 10, 8 different times this season. So when you got good players like that, the coaching, man, I can just stay out of the way and not screw it up. That's my job.
Well, so you started the year. I mean, like y'all are hot. I mean, I know they've just classic misunderstandings, whatever. You had to sit out the first 10 games. Y'all started out 10-0 without you. I remember they had the big win over ULL. I thought that was kind of a big moment to show like y'all were looking good. And then I remember I was texting you New Year's Eve when y'all went to Michigan and won up there. I know, actually you were surprised I remembered this, but I remembered the LSU-Michigan second round game, which was a thriller. I believe it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Yep. What was that like going down Arbor and winning? And was that like a moment where you're like, hey, we really got something?
Yeah, that was kind of the moment where I think, and Michigan turned out to
they're rough.
Here, they weren't that good at the time, though. They were like 8-5 or 7-5. They weren't as bad as they're. I don't know if they won, but 3 or 4 more games probably the rest of the year. Maybe we did them in, but that was, I think, the moment. That was only our second power conference win ever at McNeese, our first win ever over a Big Ten team, and that was the moment I think. It ignites, you gotta have something that ignites everything. And that was the moment everybody was like, wow, this is for real. These guys are good. This is the real deal. And I think our guys even felt like, man, this could be even more than we thought. This could be even better than we thought. This could be really, really special. And so that was a huge night, huge win. Really, really, really fun. We caught them at the right time because their football team was getting ready to play in the national semifinal out at the Rose Bowl. So they didn't have a great crowd there because most of their fans were out in Pasadena for the Rose Bowl, and we just caught them at the right time and played really well. Our kid Wells had 30 points, and he just walked in there and owned the place. And so we need him to do that again on Thursday. Hopefully he's got a few more left in him, but just an incredible win and really, really cool, really cool night for our guys.
And then I believe y'all also beat UAB non-conference. Is that correct?
Yeah, beat UAB at UAB. We beat VCU at VCU. So that stuff just doesn't happen. All three of them paid us to come play them. Paid us $80,000 plus to come pay them. And I mean, you can coach 10 years and not win 3 of those bye games. I mean, it's so hard. You got the referee stacked against you. You got the other teams usually better than you. Very, 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 very difficult to do, but our guys did it. And, we were very, 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 very fortunate and a very, very special year. And hopefully we can cap it off with something here in the NCAA tournament.
So UAB also a 12 seed like you after winning the American. And then you mentioned VCU. I know you used to coach there. I actually just was texting you from there because I went up there about a month ago. What was it like going back? So that game was, you went back to VCU. You got the Peppers, maybe the best college basketball band I've ever seen. What was that like going in there and winning? That had to be kind of a funny trip during memory lane there. I
was still on my sabbatical then.
Okay. Misunderstood, yeah.
I was still on my sabbatical for the first 10 games. But it's funny, my assistant who took over, he was our manager at VCU when I was there, and he graduated from VCU. So it was pretty cool for Chambers to go back in there and coach us to a win. But as you said, I mean, the atmosphere there is incredible. The band with Ryan and the Peppas are second to none in college basketball, and it was sold out for the opener. And they were into it. It was Ryan Odom's first game. And so,
oh, wow. They probably couldn't have been very happy that
night. You were there on a Friday night, right? For one of the Friday night games?
Yeah, I was there. They beat Dayton and his tournament team.
Yeah, that was a really good win. I lost you. I'm back.
Oh, you're good. No worries.
I'm on my phone. So when I get
no worries at all. I just appreciate you fitting us in. So running through the Southland, I mean, you only lost 3 games this year. I believe y'all dropped one on the road. The game that was the defining one, though, was that crazy comeback against A&M Corpus Christi. Y'all were down like 20 points or something crazy.
Yeah, we were down 18 in the second half and tipped one in at the buzzer to win it. And that was really – Corpus has won the league. Corpus has won the league the last 2 years. They had been the best team, and like anything, man, it's going to be a hostile takeover. If you're trying to take something from somebody, they're not just going to give it to you. Like, you got to go in there and take it, and it's going to be difficult. And it was. They were ready to go. It was on national TV. It was on a Monday night. It was a really, really tough matchup, really, really tough game. And our guys found a way to win at the end, and that really gave us a springboard in the league to get off to a good start and really get going.
Well, and then I watched the conference championship tournament week, and how nice was it having that Lake Charles at home?
Huge having it at home, and we never trailed in the second half by under double digits. We were pretty dominant during those 2 games against 2 good teams with Nichols and with Lamar, and so it was 2 really, 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 really good wins for us. I was really proud of our guys. Our fans were behind us, so it was a really, really cool week.
Well, so now we'll touch on the matchup here. I mean, playing the Zags. I know there was a lot of talk this year that like maybe they weren't what they usually are. They're still a freaking 5 seed. They lost 6 games this year. I mean, maybe they don't have like a top 3 pick this year, but still having to go to Salt Lake City to play them. I mean, this is certainly a tough matchup. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, look, they had the number 1 offense in the country for about 2 months during the year. I mean, they're as fast a team offensively as I've ever seen, kind of getting the ball out, getting the ball up the court, playing in transition. As you mentioned, we're playing them in Salt Lake. I mean, that's a ways from Spokane, but that's still, I mean, they have one of the best fan followings on the West Coast. They have one of the best fan followings in the country. You watch their conference tournament. It was like a home game in Vegas when they played in their conference tournament. And so it'll be a big challenge. They're huge. They play a 6'10" kid at the 3. They basically play 3 big guys at the 3,
oh, wow.
5. And so, that's a big difference. We're a little bit smaller. We have a 6'3" guy at the 3, and they're going to be 6'10", and they're going to be 6'11" and 6'8" down low, and we're going to be 6'9" and 6'6". And so we got a little bit of height advantage, but we got to stretch them out and bring them on the perimeter and try to shoot a little bit and shoot over top of it. But it should be a fun game. Hopefully we can make it a good game and make it worth everybody tuning into.
And what do they say? The guard play is always what wins in the tournament. At least they say anyway. So hopefully,
two good guards, but we got some good guards too, so it should be interesting.
What's this? I'm just asking what this is like as a coach, and obviously you've made a bunch of tournaments and stuff, but you put so much into 9, 10, 11 months recruiting, summer, conferences like 2 or 3 months, all for just one game in the NCAA tourney. I mean, and that's what makes the sport so great. It's the survive and advance. It's 40 minutes with everything you can imagine on the line. Like, what's that like just mentally for the players in here?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I do think that when you're in a one-bid league like we are, we have a lot of pressure on us during the championship week, during the conference tournament week. Like, there's a lot of pressure on you to make it. I think once you make it from our leagues, the pressure's off of you a little bit. Gonzaga's been to 25 straight tournaments and like 15 straight Sweet 16s or something like. They've gotten out of the first weekend like 15 straight times or something crazy like that. And so, I do think sometimes the pressure can shift a little bit from our pressure is really on the one bid to get in the conference tournament, and their pressure is a little bit more in the tournament to perform because they already know they're in when they're in their conference tournament. So hopefully we play well enough to where we can get it to a closer game, to where we can get it, to where that pressure shifts a little bit.
Do you feel like, I know you got a lot of you mentioned you have some transfers and you've got a lot of experienced guys. Does it help having, some older guys as far as the pressure and stuff when it comes to a game like this?
Yeah, I think so. We only got one kid, Tate, our best player. Fortunately, he's played in the NCAA tournament. He was there last year at TCU. They actually lost Gonzaga in the second round last year at TCU. But he's a veteran presence. He's been to the tournament. We've got some other guys that are older and more experienced, and so that's been I think that'll serve us well. But Gonzaga's got a whole roster of guys who've played in NCAA tournaments and are used to it, and so it's not like we're gonna one up them on experience or anything like that. But it will help. Hade's been talking to our guys and letting them know what the tournament experience is like, and so that that should help us out once we get there.
The Salt Lake, I mean, I heard them say they have some altitude. Is that like a factor or anything, or is that
Actually, the second time I've been sent there for the NCAA tournament, I was actually sent for an NIT game against Utah as well when I was at LSU. So this will be the third time I've been out there to play. There is a little bit of altitude. It takes you a little bit to, your lungs it takes you a little bit to get used to it. But we'll drink a lot of water. We're going to get out there tomorrow, so we'll have a couple days out there to get prepared and get used to it. And look, the altitude's the same for Gonzaga, so it's not like they're used to it and not like they're from Salt Lake. So something that both teams got to deal with, and hopefully we can deal with it a little bit better.
Well, okay. So I got a couple other random questions for you. So, I mean, you're on your fourth team here as a head coach. UT Chattanooga, you did well. VCU, LSU, and now McNeese. It's pretty impressive because I believe we're same age. Were you like 39 or 40?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've just lived a bunch of lives? It's just crazy to have that much experience. I guess Lane Kiffin was kind of like that too.
Yeah, you always tie it back to Ole Miss, huh?
Of course. Hey, we're good.
But no, I mean, look, it's been awesome. This is my fourth school, third team I've taken to the NCAA tournament, and it's been cool. This has been as cool of experience as I've had, though, just because everything's been everything's been so new. Everything's been really, really new while we've been here and while we've gotten here, and so that part's been fun for just our fans and for everybody. But it's been cool.
Well,
hopefully, I get more in me.
Yeah, I hope you got a few more in you. You mentioned just the change of perspective. I feel like, did that have something to do with, I mean, you were what, 27, 28 when you got the UT Chattanooga job?
Yeah, I think I was closer to 30, but yeah.
Closer to 30?
I was one of the youngest coaches in the country. I was ripping and running, thought I was bulletproof, 10 feet tall. And, when you think you're that, you're pretty easy to take shots at, especially when you don't really give a damn what people think about you. So, it was a fast rise and a quick fall too.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, I could share one story. I'm telling you, Will, that one of the funniest moments and my favorite moments of my whole life was, I also too have gone through some misunderstandings. And the day last year when I got let go, May 3rd, you sent me a text that night and said, I too know what it's like to be misunderstood. The day I got let go from Barstool, me and my two friends were literally crying. I mean, it was one of the funniest things I've never laughed that hard in my entire life.
Well, be some joy on a shitty day.
Yeah. But hey, it's all about keeping a good attitude. You kept a good attitude through it all. I think I did too. It seems like, it's a little bit of second act vibe.
On the other side, we're both doing well. That's all that matters, man. Hey,
there you go. As far as NCAA tournament goes, do you have any particular, you've been there a few times. What was like your favorite? Do you have a favorite win or any favorite games and memories?
When we went to the Final Four when I was an assistant at VCU, that was wild. We beat.
You were an assistant to Shaka?
Yeah, I was an assistant in 2011. We went to the Final Four. We blocked a shot at the buzzer to beat Florida State in the Sweet 16. We hit a ton of threes to beat Kansas to go to the finals. So those were really cool moments.
Yeah, I remember that team because y'all came out of the first four that year. If I remember right, you were 11 seed.
Dayton, yeah, we got sent to Dayton.
What? That's interesting. I remember that was one of the craziest runs. Okay, well, that's certainly a good one. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, y'all. So just travel-wise, y'all head out there. Y'all do shoot-around. You just get settled. I mean, y'all got some fans going with y'all?
Oh, yeah, we got everybody going, band, cheerleaders. We got a whole crew of folks. So we're going to drink the town dry out there like we do in Louisiana. They'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, hopefully they serve some booze in Utah. I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to be prepared for the South Louisiana folk. Well, Coach, I just want to say thank you for taking your time. I will certainly be rocking. I'm rocking my Will Wade basketball camp shirt. I want to shout out Reed Vol, your guy that sent me everything. Going hard for y'all, and I just really, like I said, appreciate your time. I know you're busy as hell this week, and hopefully y'all make a little Cowboys run here. I mean, y'all kind of free rolling a little bit. Kind of not too much prep. I mean, it's the NCAA tourney, so there's pressure, but I feel like y'all have exceeded expectations, and this is just fun now, right?
No doubt. It's all lanyap from here on out. Let's see if we can get it done.
All right, well, go Pokes. Thanks to Coach Will Wade of McNeese State for joining us here on Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes, and we'll be watching close.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, man.
You're back.
All right, welcome back. Just shout out to Will Wade, head coach of McNeese State, as he gets ready to go out west today. I enjoyed the hell out of that interview, Moody. Obviously, I wish we could have gotten him this morning, but we're lucky to get any time we can with him. And look, I say this all the time. The greats are often misunderstood. I shared the story I shared with Will when he texted me the night of May the 3rd, the day I got fired at Barstool. I've literally, Moody, I think I laughed as hard as I've ever laughed in my entire life that time. And it was obviously not my favorite day. But when he said, I too know what it's like to be misunderstood after everything that happened with him at LSU on the way out, I literally cried like I've never laughed that hard. I think that's one of the funniest stories I ever have, to be honest. All right. A few other things to get to. Thanks again to Dude Wipes for cleaning up our mess. Guys, I just want to say this. I'm feeling a freaking renewed energy today. I appreciate Moody and our control guys, Moody being able to do this remote. Us still have the dump button. We're going to be able to have more shows now. And then also, I was able to get Will Wade on video where we can start getting big-time remote guests and coaches and players, as well as the Barstool office, as well as me doing random activities. And I think we're about to get something going here. And I know, I'm going to be honest, obviously, if the Stoolies, if it's not consistent every week, it's hard to build, and that's on me. But I think we've got some solutions coming. We got the right people behind us. We got a great control room. I got the right producer, Tyler Moody. And I'm feeling freaking good. So let's freaking go, boys. New energy, NCAA tourney. Let's do the damn thing. Moody, on your end, want to make sure we mention this before we get off. I believe Major League Baseball starts at 5 a.m. tomorrow in Korea or something?
Yeah, we are officially back tomorrow. The Dodgers and Padres, 5 a.m. Central Time, playing over in Korea. And that means it's time to start betting on baseball again. We had a huge season last year, over 125 units, true units, right? The ROI last year from betting on baseball was absolutely insane. Would have easily cleared anyone at Barstool by a wide margin as far as the return on investment. I mean, no doubt we're going to have a big season once again. And one of the things that we did a lot last year was the home run props. I mean, just knocked it out of the park, game in, game out.
Literally.
And so literally. And so here's what I've got for you. You get it in today. Game starts at 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm taking 3 bets on this game. I'm taking Tyler Glasnow over 6.5 strikeouts. That's at
Okay.
plus 115.
This is the Dodgers-Padres game, right?
This is the Dodgers-Padres game. That's the only game going on tomorrow. Dodgers-Padres. So I'm taking Glass now. If they can get 5 innings out of him, I think he strikes out 7. He looked really good this spring. I personally also have him 14-1 to win the National League Cy Young. A small bet, nothing big. I think he's legit. He just has to stay healthy. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I think he comes out, strikes out 7 Padres. So I've got Glass now over 6.5 strikeouts, plus 115. And then we've got our home run props. I'm taking Freddie Freeman at plus 450 at half a unit. So 0.5 units on Freddie Freeman to hit a home run, plus 450. I'm also taking Ha-Seong Kim plus 750, and I'm putting 0.3 units on that. So that's 0.8 units total. And then I'm also parlaying those two together for 0.2 units, and that's 45-1 if they both leave the park. Ha-Seong Kim has had a really strong spring. He hits right-handers well. They're going to be matched up against Glass now. I don't think Glass now is going to give up a home run. That's why I'm going kind of small on Ha-Seong Kim. But I think if anybody hits a home run for the Padres, it will be him. So I've got Freddie Freeman going yard. I love Freeman as one of my favorite players this season. I think he could possibly win National League MVP. So two
he's
players.
Like ageless.
Yeah, he's so good, man. He's going to have Ohtani and Mookie Betts hitting in front of him. I absolutely love it. So that's my big bet for tomorrow. I love Freeman plus 450 to hit a home run. And then I like Glass now over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 115.
Follow at Moody Mac TV on Twitter for good winning baseball picks all season long. Follow at Wake Up Mintzy as well. Just shout out though, great to be back. I'm feeling renewed energy. We're back tomorrow. I've already got a really funny idea cleared. It's going to be on the Thursday show. Mark Titus also has already agreed to be on Thursday. But the main thing is, as we evolve, if we can do this show with Moody remote and still have the dump button, and shout out to Stefan and our crew here that helps make this happen. That's going to open up a lot to where we can be consistent. We got the right sponsor, Dude Wipes. Thank them for cleaning up all our messes. Check them out in Target, Walmart, nationwide stores. You'll never number 2 better again than with Dude Wipes. Who needs dry toilet paper? And shout out to Stella Blue. Check out their bracket. Amazing coffee. But you know what? We're freaking back. And the big thing, I'm feeling a renewed, recharged energy toward this thing. So thank y'all for joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. And last thing, I'm taking Virginia plus 2.5 tonight in the first 4. I like them as a slight dog. I like their experience. And Tony Bennett, the coach. I don't trust the Mountain West. So give me the 2 at plus 2.5 and Virginia. That's my pick. We'll have more gambling picks. Follow us on Wake Up Mintzy on social. Follow our Linktree account. Check us out on Rumble. We're everywhere, but we're ready. The big thing is we're recharged, and let's blow this thing up. Let's do this damn thing. Thanks, Tyler Moody. You're the man, and we'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m., 2 days in a row. Who knew? What's up, fellas? As y'all know, it's been a hell of a messy year. And the only thing messier than my online history are my big old fat sweaty dumps. That's why this season, I only trust Dude Wipes to handle my Mississippi mud pies.
Oh, Mintzy, you're cooking now. Ooh, wait.
When you're hot, you're hot.